Hello there, everybody. This is your game idea guy, Andre. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear and listening to another game idea that will work on the Wii U. And this time, it's the Street Fighter Alpha Anthology. Well, I kind of changed the name a little bit. Street Fighter Alpha Anthology Plus. And the reason I did that is pretty simple. Firstly, it would have all of the games that were on the Street Fighter Alpha Anthology that came out on PS2, which is Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha 2, Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold, and Street Fighter Alpha 3, and what is it called? It's Pocket Fighter over here in the US, and I think it's Gem Fighter overseas. Gem Fighter Mini Mix or something like that in overseas. Those games will all be included in the package, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's a fighting game. Those are five pretty good fighting games. Now, the other thing that would be added to this version that wasn't on the previous version would be an enhanced version of the PSP port of Street Fighter Alpha 3, which was Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max, or Cross C's Double Upper. I think it was called Upper when it came to Game Boy Advance. I don't remember exactly. I don't remember what it was called on Game Boy Advance over here. I know it was Upper in Japan, and then when the PSP port came out, it was Double Upper. But Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max actually includes other characters into Street Fighter Alpha 3, like Maki and Eagle from Capcom vs. SNK. Those versions of those characters. Yun from Street Fighter 3. Ingrid from what was it? Capcom Fighting Jam. They should actually do a sequel to that. That game wasn't too bad. I just didn't think it had enough characters. But that's another gripe for another time. And like, it wouldn't have to be like specifically the PSP version. They could take the Dreamcast version of the game and put those characters in it. Like make that port of the game have those characters. If you understand what I'm saying, which would be cool. That way you can still get your 3-player dramatic battle going on, which would be pretty nice for Street Fighter Alpha 3. Actually, I think dramatic battle is actually in all of them in some respect. Also, it can include an online mode, but I would make the online specifically for Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max and for the Gem Fighter game. I mean, you could put all of them online and give each one an online component, but if Halo Master Chief Collection is anything to go by, it's probably not the best idea because it can cause problems for the game. But two different games with an online mode wouldn't necessarily. I don't think that would necessarily be too much of a load for the game. Because you'd have Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max, and then you'd have all those characters to play with. And then you'd have a Pocket Fighter or Gem Fighter, whichever one you want, whichever name they want to throw on it. You'd have that in there, which would have an online mode for that version of that game, which would be cool. It was like, and this is another thing, like, people don't want, like, remasters and compilations. But with the past, some of these companies are going for and taking it with their video games. It's probably a good idea to have your staff that's newer to the company that hasn't been around rework some of these games, which means that they can learn those games coding and how they're set up and how the play style is done. And that wouldn't be bad. That would actually be pretty good. That's a good way to train them, and the company could still make some money. Plus, again, Wii U is lacking fighting games. And so a fighting game anthology like Street Fighter Alpha Anthology would be amazing for it because it would put, especially with what I said, it would put like 6 games on there if it was done the way I'm describing it. So you have your vanilla version of Street Fighter Alpha, Alpha 2, then you have Alpha 2 Gold, and then you have vanilla version of Street Fighter Alpha 3. And my assumption is they'd probably use the PlayStation version of all of these games because that's probably the easier one to work with to port, because the Sega Saturn was a complicated console. Even though when it came down to fighting games, it generally had the better versions depending on the game. I think Ballerina Toshiden was actually better on the PlayStation than it was on the Saturn. I haven't played either of them in a while. I still have the one for the Saturn though. I have to find it, but I know I still have it. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, there's not too much I could say because those games were all good in their own right. I mean, the only other thing to say for like the original alpha games is to give an online leaderboard so you can compare your scores to other people who are playing and who are in your friends list as well as across the world. But I'd stick to leaving like the online competitive modes for Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max or Double Upper and Super Pocket Fighter or Super Gem Fighter, whichever one. I know it's just funny that the names change so much, and I don't understand why they did. It's probably either localization or something dealing with copyright. It didn't fit with one of them, so I don't know. But that's really it. Like, I think it would be a really good idea. It's just like you guys have this stuff. It's sitting around. Nobody's using it. Why not do it? Like, if that's what I'll keep wondering about these companies. Like, if you don't want to put, like, you can't really put your, you don't feel like you can put your more current stuff on the Wii U, or you just don't feel like it's profitable enough to put your current stuff on the Wii U, get the stuff that people have been asking for forever. Get that stuff, rework it, update it, make it prettier, and put it on the Wii U. Oh, no. There was another thing I wanted to say. For this game, they could include the original soundtracks to each game, the original and the arranged version soundtracks for each of these, as well as having OC Remix provide them with a complete fan soundtrack for every game. So that way you have three choices of sound and three choices of music that you can listen to while you play each one of these games. That would actually be a smart move, because I mean, I love the music that's in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. It's awesome, and I think that would be great for this. That would be amazing for something like this. But that's about it. That's the only other thing I think should be definitely done. Because if it would just it would just say, hey, there's more. Our community of fans is vast, and these people have worked on a lot of music and compositions based on our products. So let's give them another shot at giving us another great set of this would actually be an album for like 5 different games, because 2 of them would definitely be clones anyway. Because you have Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold and then Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max. Those would be 2 clones of other games, but whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to stop before I go into gibberish on you. But yeah, that'd be it. That'd be pretty cool. I would love that myself. Yeah, I'm done. I've rambled on enough, and I mean, it just makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. If I could get to the board of directors of some of these companies, like, it wouldn't cost you guys a whole lot of money because you're porting from old stuff, and once you port up, it'll be cheap. You can put it out for pretty cheap, and you would just reap the rewards because you would not have a big investment on these games. You could put the games and you like give them to small teams and have small teams work on developing and redeveloping these games so that they could learn how to make games for the future. Learn what makes these games good, what people enjoy about them, how they're made, and then make products based on how those were made. That just too much sense. But thank you guys very much for watching, listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more of my stuff. And until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out.